Hello everyone, BrainBot here, welcome back. My pre-order came in for the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, so we're going to take a look at him today. Bring in the box real quick. So like most of the Studio Series boxes, it looks really nice. So we got the battle scene from Autobot City on the front. The sides just have some heroic shots of Optimus and box contents on the back. And you have the display base there if you want. Again, this is the Autobot City backdrop. Mine came with a little bit of battle damage. I didn't do that, it was like that in the box. I don't really use these, so it doesn't bother me, but if I was displaying this, that might tick me off a little bit. But if you want to, this does look like a good display. And for a look at Prime himself, he's in his cartoony colors, red, blue, white, yellow here. All the colors really pop on this model. You've got some blue paint here for the windows. It's underneath the plastic here, so it still has like a feel like it's a window there. Here's how he looks from the side. I'll say on video the backpack looks more egregious than it does in person. But yeah, pretty good looking figure in my opinion. For movement, you can spin his head around like so. Arms can go out that much. You can bring his shoulder forward here. This connection is super tight on mine, so I feel like I'm gonna break it, but you can bring him forward so he can bring his arm like that if you want. Rotation up here at the bicep, that much bend at the elbow. You can rotate at the wrist. We have some articulation here, so I can open up the hands like so. So the thumb is just molded in position there. Then you have the index finger has two hinges on it, and then the other three fingers are molded in at the base here, so they will all move together. You got some like decent articulation there. For the waist, can rotate it, can move the legs forward that much, backwards that far, can go out all the way. You have rotation there's thigh rotation. It's basically up at the hip here. You can't really do anything. There's no rotation at the knee, but you can pivot the ankle quite a bit and move the heel and toe down. They won't move up anymore, but you can't move them down. So yeah, got some decent posability here. The chest panel does open. Go in from the bottom and flip up this gray panel here. So you've got the matrix there. So you got a peg on one peg hole on one side. It's kind of like the other matrices that we've had. And you can get them to hold it if you wish. That one side especially is really tight on the shoulder there. But if you play around with them, you can get him to hold it. So yeah, if you play around with it, you can get him to hold the matrix if you wish. And Prime comes with this trailer, which looks really nice. So you got the single gray stripe down the side with the Autobot symbol, blue on the bottom here. molded detail on the bottom as well. You have the hitch point here to connect to Prime Struck mode. You have these stands here so you can allow it to stand upright by itself. Like the original toy, you have these supports here. And that will let you open this up, split that apart. So you have little rests there for the sides of the trailer. The inside is where you can store all of the goodies. Again, there's molded detail in here. You get two blast effect parts, which look like the Masterpiece Prime blast parts. You get his Energon X. And Prime's blaster right there. You get roller. It just plugs in via these two ports right in there. It's pretty beefy looking roller. He's molded in the same gray plastic, I believe, as this. Just some silver on top, and the black wheels. You have the helper robot slash turret droid, so you can come up like so. He's got the arm that can move around. It does have some claw articulation as well. A little radar dish can come up here. It doesn't rotate, just moves up and down. You do have opening there for, got something that could fit in there, like a little pilot or something. This can also move up all the way like so. And you do have an opening in here. Oh, sorry, no, you can't close that up like on the original toy. There's no movement there, so you can't have him sticking out. This does peg in here. There's just two posts in here, so if you want to plug it on somewhere else, you could do that. But yeah, it looks pretty nice in there. We fold everything back up. On the back here, you pull this down. This will flip out. It's really tight. This will reveal a little storage spot for these effect parts, so you can mimic Prime's little jets when he blasts off and transforms in Autobot City. These will all just fold back up like so. So it's Prime with his trailer. Really good looking commander set. I think they hit it out of the park with Optimus and with Ultra Magnus, so I like it. Now we can put his accessories on him. So Blaster's got this peg here. You can go into either one of his hands. Plug it in like so. And for the X, has this post hole right here. So what you want to do is, if you don't have it already, have Prime making a fist. And we can open up this panel. It'll flip out like that. And just rotate Prime's fist in. Close that back up to reveal this peg. And just plug it in like so. And you have Prime all armed up. And of course, his blast effect parts can go on the gun as well. And of course, we need to compare the 86 to the Earthrise Prime. So here they are side by side. And the 86 one looks a lot better in my opinion. I still think this is a good mold. It's pretty easy to transform. It looks nice. But this one just looks a bit better in my opinion. And to compare some accessories, so here is the blaster that originally came with Earthrise Prime compared to the Studio Series 86. So this one definitely looks more like the cartoon blaster. I also have the blaster here. This one is from the Centurion weapons pack. Centurion weapon drone pack. So you can see how I can compare. This one is quite a bit beefier, but it's just done in, it's in gray plastic that's painted in a matte black. While this one is painted kind of like a gunmetal. I think this one looks nicer. This one is quite a bit of a larger rifle, so I'm not sure which one I prefer, but Prime can hold this gun as well. So if you have this, you got an option of which one you want to give him, or if you want to have him dual wielding like this. As far as the axes go, the Centurion kit came with an Energon axe as well. So this is a Studio Series 1 on the right, and it's slightly smaller, and it's more opaque than this one. The other difference is, since this one was meant to fit on the Earthrise Prime, it has this post here that would slide over a hand, as opposed to this one that plugs into the hand. But again, you should still be able to get him to hold this if you want. So you can just plug this in over here, and it does still slide over Prime's hand. So if you have that, then what you could do, fold this in. Make sure his finger is tucked in. Plug him in. If you really want it, you can have him dual wielding axes. And we can also compare rollers. Because again, the Centurion kit came in with a roller for Earthrise Prime. See, this one is done in the toy colors, whereas this one is done in the cartoon colors. And the other difference, of course, is the size. This is much larger than the one we got in the Centurion kit. This one comes with one post hole to hold. I was meant to hold this big gun here, which frankly looks ridiculous on that roller. And you can do the same with this one. He's got two, so you can plug this in kind of wherever you want. So you can certainly do that. And because of roller's size, you've got any of these Titan Master figures. They're exactly the right size for roller. You can just angle their legs in like so, and have them riding around if you want. which is cool. And one more thing that I was wondering about was this jump pack. Again, came with the Centurion drone kit. Now, this was something that you could plug on to Prime, Earthrise Prime, like that, to simulate the episode where he went after the Nemesis. Oh, could this go on the Studio Series? It looks like there's kind of some faux port on there that you could use, but unfortunately there isn't enough clearance, and I haven't been able to move anything on here to get this to stay on, which is slightly disappointing, but I'm sure a third-party 3D printing company will make something for that if you want to have a jetpack on the Studio Series Prime. But to transform him, we'll start with the hands. So open up the forearm panels here and put Prime's fists up. Let's make sure they're in this orientation with the palm facing up and all the fingers are underneath the thumb here. That will let you bring this down so that this tab here will clip in right in there. You can see the tab there, or the slot there, a bit better. Push that in. Do the same thing on the other side. Flip that in, close it up. Now what you want to do is rotate the arms all the way around so you have this big empty space, and then fold that up just like that. And while you're doing this, you should rotate these out of the way, because if you leave them down here, these are going to get in the way when we're moving things, so just kind of move them, one way or the other. So rotate this around, get the smokestack out of the way, then bring these up again so we can get some clearance. We want to flip these side panels up, so if you have problems, you can get something to help you to move this along. Then we can get these little panels here out. And again, there's quite a few spots where I need a tool to open these up, because their stuff is just way too tight on this figure. It's one thing I don't like. I mean, it's nice that he doesn't fall apart, but it's a little bit too tight. So you bring that out like that, so now you have this part of the backpack here. And what you can do is disengage the backpack like so. And there's this little butt piece here that you want to bring all the way down. And let you bring the backpack out like this. So now what you want to do here is we're going to do 2 rotations. We're going to rotate at the waist here. So we're going to rotate the waist so it's facing completely the other way. And then the upper torso here is going to pivot all the way around. So you got that look. Now we'll tuck the head away. I didn't see anywhere in the instructions mentioning this, but if you rotate his little earpieces forward slightly, it'll give you enough clearance to bring his head down. I'm going to rotate this all the way in so the head goes into this cavity. And this is another spot that's really, really tight. Definitely the first time I pushed this in, I thought that I was going to break something, because it does not sound good. What I would recommend is pushing down with both thumbs like this till you hear it. There we go. Probably heard that was quite loud. Does not feel good. Something's way too tight in there, but that's you want that looking like. And then this piece here is just going to flip up, and this piece is going to kind of sit down here for now. Then these pieces, they're going to come forward, and there's 2 hinges, a hinge here and a hinge here. So just rock that forward so it's sitting like that. Get the other piece to meet it as well. When you're transforming them back in from truck mode to robot mode, just be careful here because these pieces, they don't want to, they'll hinge out like this, but trying to rock them back can be difficult. So just use care and caution so you don't break anything. Okay, so before we do anything else with this, we'll work on the legs. Got these panels up front here. I'm just going to pop open, and we're going to bring this over. There's a tab that's going to go into this slot here. Bring that over, push it in. Same thing on the other side, just like that. And then underneath the feet, we have this slot here that is going to rotate out, and a tab on the other leg, like so. And what we're going to do here is, so this tab's going to go into this slot, and then there's two dual tab slot connections here. So just line everything up and push it together so the legs will hold together quite nicely there. And then we're going to bring the legs up, and it's just going to untab itself. It's going to sit kind of like that. And what we'll do here is on the underside of the backpack here, there's a hinge on either side, so we're going to hinge these panels out that have the wheels on them. And it's also going to untab this section here, so let's bring all that out. Like so. And we can bring this down. Bring this piece back down, and there's little tabs on either side that's going to go into these slots here. Get it to focus. So that's going to keep everything kind of in place there. For the grill, what I would recommend is pushing this section up from the bottom. And then on this hinge piece here, you're going to take this panel and bring it out. And just fold that back up. Just like that. And then in here, there's a large tab right there. It's going to go into a slot right back in there. So you just fold this up and push that in. It'll go in by itself. Oh, my apologies. Before you do that, you need to bring these panels back down. You need to do this at this step because otherwise you won't be able to close them up. So bring that back up. Yes. Panel out of the way. Underneath the wheels, like so. And on these panels here, I'm going to rotate this piece out like that. Both sides. Arms, going to hinge them back, and there's a tab here on the shoulder. It's going to go into this first slot there, so you just line that up and bring the arm in. Get that into position there, like that. And you can fold up this side panel here, just like that, and everything will click into place. Straighten out the smokestack. Same thing on the other side, so bring this back, line up the tab there. Rotate the arm in. Bring this panel up. This one, the hinge is a little bit loose on mine. It likes to pop out a little bit. Just push that in if that happens. Okay, so we're mostly done here. We'll just finish up with the legs. You can bring the toes up. Then this side here, there's panels here that will pop up. And there's these two tabs here that go into slots on the thighs. And they also have these pieces right here that are going to go into these slots on the arms. What I should do is I angle it so I get these tabs into the backs of the arms. And then just kind of close everything up, push it together, and hear those pieces snap in like that. So it looks all, holds it all into place nicely like that. Bring the heel pieces down. So you got the lights going on there. And finally, we're going to rotate these pieces around. So just be careful with this. There's a pivot point here. So you're going to go down when you're pushing it. Don't try to pull anything out. You might snap something. When you get down to about here, this panel here is just going to rotate around. And what's going to happen is you have this blue tab here that's going to go into that slot right there. There's also kind of a tight fit. This curvature goes around the wheel. So if you leave this pivoted out just slightly, it'll give you clearance to go around the wheel. Then you can straighten that back out and just line that up. And push it in. The same thing on the other side. Put out, bring that up, around, put that in. And then on the bottom here, flip out the wheels, like so. And when you're going back, make sure you flip these wheels in first, because you won't have enough clearance to swing this piece back, and you might risk breaking this. So just make sure you reverse the order of operations there, and you should be good. There you have Prime in his truck mode, which looks pretty good. This came untabbed for me. So he does roll around pretty nicely. Of course, you can bring in his trailer. Again, this hitch here will just plug into that port right there. And you get nice range of movement there. It doesn't inhibit the rolling at all. It's a little squeaky, but that's okay. As far as transporting Autobots goes, you can fit a little bit more than you can fit on the Earthrise one. Of course, your smaller ones like Cliffjumper and Bumblebee have no problem in there. Larger ones like Trailbreaker, they'll fit in no problem. There are some of the wider ones. Here I got Leadfoot, which is a Mirage repaint. The back wheels, the Mirage mold here, are too big, and they will get stuck in there. So you got some increased transportation, but there's still some of your bots that will not fit in the trailer there. And Studio Series Prime's truck mode next to Earthrise, so you can see exactly how much larger this one is. So this one is, I think, much more in proportion than Earthrise was. If you really wanted to, you could put Earthrise trailer on 86 Prime and vice versa. Looks a little ridiculous here. The other way around doesn't look too bad, but something you do if you want. As well, of course, you got friend Roller here, who could Again, tow Prime's trailer, if you want to do that. And the final accessories, these blast parts. So the way they're keyed together is one has to face the outside a certain direction, so you can't put them on in the wrong way. They just go on under here into these slots. So just peg them in. So there we go. I'm gonna have him blasting off, just ready to transform and take out some Decepticons. So some final thoughts. Design-wise, this 86 model is a really good rendition of Prime, maybe the best rendition we've had. The colors are great. The overall look of the model, aside from the backpack, that's probably the thing that the people have the most problem with. Again, I don't think it's too bad, especially in person. It looks worse to me in pictures. Playability-wise, get some good poses out of Prime here, and you have the extra playability factor from the base mode of the trailer, which is nice. Transformation-wise, I think it's pretty good. It is definitely more complicated than the Earthrise one. Younger kids will really struggle with this. Biggest problem I have with the transformation, at least in my copy, there's too many bits that are, the tolerance is way too tight on it, so I either feel like I'm going to break something when I'm moving it, or I have to get something to help me to pull things out. And durability wise, everything feels really solid. Again, the only problem thoughts I have this breaking, aside from dropping him repeatedly, has to do with those tolerances where I feel like it's possible that I might stress something over time, but overall pretty solid. I know this is definitely going to be a popular figure. I hope more people are able to get Optimus and we're able to get Magnus. It seems like he sold out pretty quickly, so I hope this stays around for whoever wants to get a copy of it. This one I got from a local retailer, Toy Snowman. So hopefully you see this popping up in your brick and mortar stores or online stores soon, and you're able to get a copy. That's all I have to say, so thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time.